kind of nice.
Yeah, buddy.
Ooh, look what Gitty let me play. Woo. I never get to play 6-string.
Yeah, that is a Fun Guy Mojo. Chris McKinney, 6-shooter, I believe he calls it. One of those fancy, shiny Camacho boxes. So, what are we doing here today? What a cool surprise, Michael Capato says. This is the Shane Spiel and Ben Gitty radio show.
Hey.
Radio show. What are you talking about? There's video. Well, Shane, last week you did a thing with the guys at Cigar Advisor down there in Easton, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, that was fun.
And they went for like, what was it, an hour and a half, but they treated their broadcast like a radio show. They're talking.
We sat there, we talked guitars, we talked cigars, we talked just about everything. And it was a fun time. And
yeah,
Gitty brought me up here today. It was all hands on deck here at Gitty.
Trying to get all the kits out the door. We've had a kit sale going on all weekend. 25% off all of our instrument, amp, and box kit. Well, box kit's kind of a last-minute add-on there. And, yeah, there's a lot of stuff going out the door. And that goes through midnight tonight, U.S. Eastern Time. There's still time to get on CBGitty.com.
Yep,
and
get on
some
there.
Kits. But
I had to drive 8 hours to help you
pack. This was not pre-planned at all. So I've got the iPad going here, if it doesn't fall off the damn mic stand, so we can see your comments, see who's out there. Rob Roble says he's having builder's block. He needs to be woken up.
Rob Roble, builder's block. You want builder's block? I want you to go the exact opposite of the Maseratis that you were building. If you want builder's block to get away, take a broomstick. Or a shovel.
Yeah, there you go.
Let's do that.
Pick this
Rob.
up, Shane Spiel. There's no pickup in this.
1 or 2 strings.
Let's take them.
Yeah, you want to get that off of there. Take 1 or 2 strings and do a simple slide. Go the exact opposite.
Make something out of stuff that was never meant to be on a guitar. That's our advice.
Here's what I advise you on making. Do this in a matter of 2 or 3 hours. And make the Rob Roble version of a simple 1 or 2 string with a broomstick neck. That is my Monday morning advice to you. And here's the thing. I've played your guitars. I've played them in concert. This is the opposite, but even these are still inspiring. Times where I just crave a 1-string. In fact, my band is now I am using a 1-string in concert. We should have had a copy of my CD on hand here.
You know?
Got a new CD out, and there's a Diddley Bow song on there.
I can run and get one in the third half of today's show.
On the third half of today's show.
So we got Martin Tauber out there. Marty's going to be down here tomorrow. He's bringing us coffee and sweet goodies at lunchtime.
Oh,
so
I'll
Marty's
be here.
Going to be here at Gitty. We got Tim Wall out there.
Tim, how you doing, brother?
Buddy? Good to see you tuned in out there.
Good to see you there.
Hope you are on the way to full recovery. Kim Morris out there saying that Jim says hi. Jim Morris, we're always glad to see you and Kim.
Jim Morris, my Yoda.
Jim Morris.
He is my Yoda.
We happen to have a Jim Morris original right here. Never Far Away in the Juke Shack.
And that is exactly straight from the 1949 plans, it looks like. If you go on cigarboxnation.com, there are the resources, free plans. And that we found,
I think those were built to those plans.
That looks like the 1949 specs. There is a. Let me see that for a second. This is a radio show.
It's a radio show.
There's no script.
Lots of visual references in a radio show.
Take a look at this. In fact, I'm going to put this over here. I know we got lighting, so I can't go too far from the lighting.
Yeah, it's going to get dark if you go forward.
What we have here is there's a broomstick that goes through the box here, and then the fretboard goes on top here. And this is a traditional cigar box violin setup. we have the free plans at Cigar Box Nation. Get them, print them out. I mean, even if you just get them to study and get some new ideas. Rob said he was was running a builder's block. Builder's block.
You're looking at your bench and like, what? I've done it all. What more can I do? What should I do?
Go through the plans and just get some ideas. And this thing, I mean, do you even have a bow in here? If not, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's not in tune.
I can't play, but just I wanted to give a single note to show you guys.
I'll tell you what I've got. I've got a bass bow.
Oh my! What do you play, an elephant with this?
I played a cymbal with that thing. Remember last year we did that show?
Yeah, listen to this. I mean, I can't play violin. To me, violin is like an instrument from Mars. That is the tone of a cigar box.
A plywood bottom on an old Partagas cigar box is doing that. If it were in tune, it'd sound even better.
You could do Bach on this thing.
We were trying a little Bach last night.
Yeah,
what were we doing?
We were doing Bach's cello
suite.
It was the, what is it?
No.
Cello Prelude No. 1.
That's all that I learned. Shane knows more.
Let
me plug her in there?
No, I don't need.
Well, we'll give you a little juice. What are amps for if you ain't using them?
How are we doing that? And
Open.
We got
starting on the 4th, I think.
Yeah.
So classical music on a cigar box guitar. Why not? There's a lot of other
something
stuff.
Like that.
You know, yada yada yada. You get the idea.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Hey, I just saw G.S. Monroe pop in.
GS!
Brought this over for Shane. Now, this is not Shane. Shane is doing his best to wear through the soundboard.
GS, I love you. I am playing the hell out of your guitar. I'm probably going to have to put a pickup on it. I mean, this is Ben's. This is Ben's
That's the one I decided to keep for my own personal collection.
And these things
Oh, yeah, buddy, right there.
Ah! I just love these things.
GS saying he loves your new CD.
You like it, GS? Thank you so much.
Buddy.
I made sure to sign it. Whenever I signed the CD, he got the cover. There's 4 different covers on it. He got the one with the skeleton. And the picture of the skeleton's actually holding a GS Monroe guitar on the cover.
It's in the style of the old Robert Johnson.
It looks like Robert Johnson's skeleton, yeah.
And that artwork was done by
Matt Crunk.
Matt Crunk,
now,
one of the original founders of the Huntsville Festival.
Absolutely.
The longest running cigar box guitar festival in the world.
Here's a tip for you guys. Now, Matt Crunk did my artwork, the skeleton artwork. Matt is a tattoo artist. He's a professional tattoo artist. And one thing I learned as a musician is if you ever need artwork done, contact a tattoo artist first. If they have the time and you spend the money, you don't ask it for free, you don't ask for trade, you say, I'm going to give you a few $100 or whatever.
Ooh,
and it's worth it. Look at that album cover.
Well, yeah.
That album cover was well worth the money invested.
Yeah.
If you have friends with a tattoo artist, get them to do some of your artwork, because these are people that live, eat, and breathe artwork all day long, and especially, you know, some of that grittier imagery that they're used to doing. Well, we're playing, at least I'm playing blues. You are more of the folk Americana side.
Yeah.
But still, all of that really fits in together. So there's a little radio show tip for you.
Chain and Band Radio Show. GS says he's a Grateful Dead. He's an old deadhead. I've been working on Ripple. A lot of you probably know. Yeah, I've really been working on it. I can't find it right now. There it is. This goes a little slutty.
Yeah, there's so many lyrics on this one. What's your chords?
I don't know. I don't know the bridge very well, so I skipped it.
Where there is no pebble top, no wind to da 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 da.
All right, so there's a little Grateful Dead for you. All right, a sad facsimile there.
I actually performed that song at a wake.
Really?
That's where I first learned it. It was back in '97. It was 96 or 97 because I was still working in the factory, and one girl that in the office of the factory passed away, and she was a huge deadhead. And
nice.
I learned that, and at the wake, we had a wake at a coffee shop afterwards, and I ended up getting on stage and performing that. So.
You know, speaking of wakes and songs sung at wakes, we've got a friend named Charlie Boyle.
Oh.
Who lives nearby in Dover, New Hampshire.
Ain't no wake. He's alive.
He's just
alive
over
and
there
well.
in Dover. Oh no, Charlie hasn't passed, but he's been known to sing an old Irish song at wakes. Now you know the Irish, they like an excuse to have a good get together, a hoolie, or to get the crack wound up a little bit. And so there's an old Irish dying song, I guess you'd call it. Well, look at the coffin with golden handles. Isn't it grand, boys, to be bloody well dead? Let's not have a sniffle. No, let's have a bloody great cry. And always remember, the longer you live, the sooner you bloody well die. And it goes on in that vein, but Charlie has been known to just break into that a cappella graveside, mind you.
Oh, jeez!
And it
Graveside.
usually is a great hit. Usually. So what we're doing here today, we are just kind of sitting. Yeah, I need to adjust that.
Yeah, I can't see.
Me and Shane were like, let's go over there, turn on the camera, but ignore it, which we've been doing so-so at.
Well, yeah.
And pretend we're doing a radio show. We're talking to each other. We're having conversation. We're talking with you. We can see your comments as they come up live here on the screen. Yeah, I'm moving it. I'm moving it.
Come on now.
See, these show business types, everything's got to be just so. Shot of my back there. Hopefully the flop sweat isn't showing through. It'll happen. Nothing heavy, cutter.
All right.
So
Ode to Joy. CDA said about Ode to Joy. Oh, wait, that's not.
That's Jason Joy, Man's Desire.
Yeah.
Example of something we were talking. Shane arrived last night and is staying at the house with me and my wife Dawn, and we were sitting out on the porch doing a little picking and grinning last night. I was picking.
I was grinning.
Woo! Right. Speaking of which, I need a pick. Here's one. I got one. There's usually one spread about the place, but we were talking about tricks and cheats.
Yeah.
Which is really most of all we got, to be honest. But if you learn enough of them and string them together, you start sounding like you know what you're doing. And one of those tricks is applicable to that song. We were playing just the individual notes on the high G string.
Yep.
You can do the two-finger method and put one of those fingers on the low G and one on the high G. Basically the third and first strings.
Because on a cigar box guitar, if it's tuned G D G, that means the low string and the high string are the same note. They're an octave apart.
Yeah.
So
instead of just picking that single note, let me sit back down, get in the camera. So there's the individual notes. Instead, do both the high and low string and strum the whole thing.
And you hear how much more lush
it fills it out.
is?
It's like,
Yeah.
and suddenly, if you're playing that for somebody, they start thinking, well, that son of a bitch knows what they're doing. You know?
And trust me,
Which is-
we don't know.
That's all. Yeah. So this is unrehearsed.
But we're having fun.
We're having
we're
fun.
taking
We
your
hope you're
questions.
having fun. Bill Broman out there. Charles Dustin Aron says he does it dulcimer style, which you can definitely do on the 3-string open G, where you're strumming all three, but just noting that high melody string.
Oh, I see. The new comments are down below here. All right, I'm good.
You can even go full dulcimer.
Oh,
I got one of my new CB Gitty spoon slides.
a spooner slide.
I'm not used to playing. It's not really made for this. You need the melody string.
Yeah, try playing that left-handed. I'm going to enjoy this.
All right, nothing heavy. Oh shit. That didn't work out.
But I do need to make a comment about those two notes. If you're playing open G and you get your fingers, it's tough to see here, but you get your fingers like a claw here.
Yeah.
And that's the way I do it, where it's on
claw.
2nd fret, 1st string, 2nd fret, last string, and you let that middle one ring out. I use this all the time in my solos, where in the blues scale, that blues scale in concert, I'll start going. And it looks so impressive. And trust me, this is stupidly easy. You just need to memorize the scale. That's it.
Even I can do that.
And, I'll be honest. See? You're going to take my gig away from me.
Well, that's one of two-finger tricks that we talked about last night.
Yeah, well,
let's not get to the second one yet.
But we're talking about tricks and cheats, and that's what I always call my lessons on YouTube. Because I am not a trained musician. Everything I learned by ear. Nice hat.
Thank you.
And so I get so many people saying, "Well, how do you play so good? What do you do?" And it's all from goofing off. Honest to God, the majority of the stuff that I play is from me goofing off. It's me sitting in my living room, putting my fingers on the fretboard in weird places, saying, "What would happen if
What's it gonna sound like?"
Well, that sounds pretty. Let me keep that.
Yeah.
Nobody ever told me I couldn't make a song so simple that, you only need 2 fingers to play it.
Yeah.
And so I did it. And there's some of my most popular songs are the easiest ones to play. That's kind of like Smoke on the Water being the most popular rock song. I mean, Richie Blackmore is one of the greatest rock and roll soloists. Incredible guitarist. What is he known for? The dumbest lick Richie Blackmore could ever come up with is the most popular lick. So what I'm telling you guys is there's beauty in simplicity.
Yeah. And not worrying.
Don't overthink.
Don't worry if you're doing it right. The other night, I came up with a little chord riff, and this is the song that I sang during last week's Gitty Gang show. And all I did was start with an E chord. Now this is a little more complex
You
of an
play
E chord.
some crazy first position chords on 3 strings that I've never done.
I'll tell you why. I get confused moving around a lot.
Uh-huh.
I don't feel comfortable knowing just instinctively where to go up here. I haven't done it. I haven't
Yeah,
forced myself to do it enough.
But you were also trained in Irish tenor banjo and mandolin.
Which is, and on that I'd stay first. And even 6-string guitar, I'd always start getting confused and scared. Trying to get up above the 5th fret or so. So learning these first position chords, and this is what, and we got these chord forms for free over at cigarboxguitar.com. You get on there and go under chords and tab, and it's all there. You can print it out for free. But anyway, I took this E chord, which is 4th, starting from the top string when you're holding it. 4, 2, 1. Makes a nice E major chord. With
4, 2, 1. I think I need to use my pinky on
with
that
the root. Yeah, because you got a longer scale guitar there, I think. And that middle string's the root. That's the E. But all I did was take my first finger and bar those top 2 strings. And that hit me. I was like, that progression from the E to the G sharp minor is what it is. Don't worry about that, though. Worry about the sound. How does it sound? It doesn't matter what the name of the damn chord is. And then, like, well, where should it go from there? And I barred the 2nd fret, a 1-finger chord. It's like, wow. And then back to the E. And then you put a little rhythm behind that, and you get... So that was the first little phrase of my song. That was the first little progression. And then, I got to admit, I let my brain kick into gear and used a little music theory to know that there's another chord. It's really just this same chord moved up to the 6th fret. Is that right? But I reversed it. Mirror chords. That's a whole another pot full.
That's another one. Yeah.
Fish. Then down to the first A to the B7.
I got so much to learn from you.
Well, you know, we sat down last night. He's saying he's got to learn all this stuff from me. I'm watching you just go crazy on the blues and like, I need to learn how to do that.
But I'm listening here, and you know what I'm hearing? How's it start? 4, 4, 2, 1?
Yeah.
This reminds me of, hold on.
It's like there's a Dylan song.
No, Beatles.
Oh, okay. Day in the Lion? I'm not nearly as big of a Beatles fan as Shane is. He can rattle everything off of every album. And like,
Strawberry Fields Forever.
Oh, okay.
Take you down. Or wait, no. Music was easy without.
Please tell me I didn't just rip off Strawberry Fields.
No, because you didn't include a chord that they didn't.
Okay.
But that's, in fact, it's on my album. I've been doing a lot of those Beatles type chords where it goes from major to minor. I don't know what chords I'm playing. Like, there's a song on the album called Dance, and we'll get into the other 2-finger in a minute.
Oh, yeah.
But on my new album...
You need any coffee or anything? I'll make a run to the lunchroom while you...
Yeah.
No coffee?
I could go for a coffee.
All right. I'll be right back, folks. My cup is about to run over. Pardon me?
What are you doing now? So I guess it's the Shane Solo show now.
Just for a minute.
All right.
You can hold it down, Spiel.
Let me get closer to the mic since you turned the AC on.
Well, just
All right.
it's getting really hot in
Yeah. I have a song on my new album called Dance, and in fact, the first take of it I actually broadcast live here back in when I was recording it all. We ended up using the second take, which was a lot better, but I think this is tuned to an open G. This is the GS Monroe guitar. I used the same type of guitar for that song, but it was and what are these chords that I'm playing? I have no freaking idea. All I know is they're pretty, and I sat there in Actually, no. I wrote the music to this song the morning that I recorded it. Because we were supposed to record 2 or 3 other songs. And I got into the recording studio, and I had a big book full of lyrics. And this song is 15 years old. The lyrics are 15 years old. And I was in the mood. I said, we got to record this one song. And it's... What? The world revolves and grinds its axis, and I was called to dance. The screech air brakes, they pay their taxes, and I was called to dance. Though the world shoots spiteful glances, still I lead delightful dances. The world revolves and grinds its axis, and I was called to dance. So, yeah. I don't have all the lyrics in front of me. You know what? I'm going to admit it to you guys right now.
Nothing harder than learning your own song.
That's it. In concert, for the first time ever, I've been showing up with a little music stand attached to my microphone. I hate that. I absolutely hate having lyrics in front of me as I sing, because it creates, thank you so much, it creates a wall between the lead singer and the audience. It is much better to perform with no lyrics in front of you, everything memorized. Trust me, the audience can tell the difference. But lately I've had to do that in order to play the new songs off the new album.
Yeah, well, you gotta do what you gotta do, hey? Well,
oh my God, you make coffee strong here.
Well, this stuff has been sitting there a while. You got the Cigar Box Nation mug. I got the Scales and Chords. Now this mug right here, see, if you don't want people to know you've got a cheat sheet, you have this mug in front of, well, you got to be able to see too. It's pretty small. That's got all the chord forms for 3-string right on it. If you keep that close, they'll never know.
So what kind of questions have we got going on here? We got Raymond Poole here, CDA's here.
Hey, if you've got any questions for us, we're covering a lot of topics.
We're just hanging out.
You know, we've got tired. I ain't gonna lie. Spent all morning sitting at the desk, smashing through stuff.
I've been packing orders all morning.
Packing orders. And
do you know how many?
Let's get over there and make some music.
Jeez, how many of those 2x4 kits, the 2x4 lap steel kits I had to package this morning?
I know how many. I don't know what I did with my pick though.
You were sitting on it.
Hey-o!
Okay, 2-finger.
2-finger. So we showed you, and you can do this right now. We're going to be at this a while. We're going to be covering a lot of stuff. Go get your 3-stringer. Get her tuned up, GDG, and play along with some of this
for the
stuff.
people that are not sitting in their cubicles right now.
Those of you hiding at work trying not to let everybody know. You know, the good thing about this being a radio show, you don't even have to watch the video. You can put it on your earbuds and... Oh yes, I'm taking a training on a corporate...
Oh my God, this is like New Hampshire mud.
New Hampshire mud?
Woo!
Oh, now when you're out in New Hampshire, you gotta watch out for your bears and your meth heads.
Your bears and your meth heads.
I'm working on... Well, I'm trying to channel Charlie Farquharson from Hee Haw. Oh, you got your bears and you got your meth heads, and you gotta watch out for both of them. Been watching a lot of Hee Haw reruns lately. That's some good. Hey, Michael Ballerini out there.
You've been watching
Ballerini right there.
Yeah, right there. I'm going to take that one home with me.
Woo, that's a pretty one.
You know, you've been watching the Hee Haw reruns. I've been watching the Red Green reruns.
You know, you put the two of those together, sprinkle in a little bit of Muppet Show, a little bit of some of the other good variety shows there.
And there we are.
Michael says he keeps a CBG in his office at work. Good on you. So do I.
My office is my home.
When I was
There's
getting
120 of them.
yeah, your dining room.
Basement now. It's my office.
When I went over to get that coffee, Mrs. Gitty is sitting over there having lunch. I tried to talk her into coming over and doing a song.
Oh, you guys need to do Jackson.
Well, that's what
you guys
I was
ever see
thinking.
them do Jackson? Oh man, Johnny Cash, June Carter. All right.
George McEwig out there over in Scotland, I believe.
No way.
I think I'm right.
Nice.
So we showed you the two-finger trick. Basically fretting the top and bottom strings on the same fret and then moving that around. So 2nd fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, 7th fret, 9th, 11th, 12th. You can throw that 3rd in there.
So that's your octaves. You're playing the octaves.
And
Okay.
just slide that thing around and see where it sounds good.
Now we're talking about the next two-finger thing is a movable chord. And the chord,
I'm going to call Dawn over here.
Uh-oh.
If she'll do it. I don't know if she'll do it.
And I've taught this lesson before on my EEB tuning of Tattoo of You, where Tattoo of You is played with two fingers the whole time. And all it is, if you're on a G, D, G, an open G, 3-string cigar box guitar, I just play the first 2 strings. You can even do it by putting your thumb over if you've not gotten used to it. And just keep moving it and see where that chord sounds good. You let the high string ring out. Rastafari!
Hey!
Farley's here. Say hi to Farley, everyone.
He was coming back for something else, and I just go in and sit down.
She
It'll be
still
funny.
has a dust mask on her.
It'll be funny. Dawn's already gone.
Okay, 2 fingers. I said, even if they're not used to pushing down there, they can use their thumb. You know who played with his thumb? Famous singer-songwriter that played with his thumb.
Well, I know who occasionally flops his thumb over the top.
Yeah, there's a lot
Our
of people
buddy
that
Eric
do.
Clapton is
Yeah, there's a lot of people
thumb.
do that, but famous singer-songwriter Woodstock. He played at Woodstock. Does anyone know what singer-songwriter from Woodstock would tune his guitar to an open tuning and play with
The
his thumb?
first one to give a correct guess wins a CB Gitty gift certificate for $25.
You're kidding.
No, I just made that up.
Nice.
So-
$25. Who played guitar with their thumb? And in fact, you can see it in the Woodstock movie. He is playing an acoustic guitar like this. I'm waiting. I'm looking here.
George says
Valleys? No.
Oh, he's from British Columbia. His
Oh,
family's
okay.
from Scotland.
Hayes. Jim Crisp. Or Hayes. Close. Not Hayes. Not Hayes.
Batesfield was
No.
in Woodstock. Good
Jim
guess.
almost had it, and I almost awarded it to you. It is not Hayes, but you were very close.
So the question is, who at the original Woodstock 1969 acoustic guitarist
Played
can
guitar
be
with his
seen
thumb.
in the videos with thumb over
Bam!
thumb?
There it is.
Richie Havens.
Richie Havens. Richie Havens
Chris
did it.
McKinney. You missed it, Chris. Shane was jamming on this thing earlier.
I'll jam with it a little bit. Chris, you just got yourself a $25 CB Gitty gift certificate.
I'll take that off the current order you've got on the books, Chris. We got one we're working on there.
Yeah, Richie Havens would tune his guitar to a chord and just simply put his thumb over there and play. And nobody ever accused him of being a non-musician.
Of doing it wrong?
Yeah.
You're doing it wrong.
Yeah. So I was saying, if you're not used to pushing your fingers down on frets, 2 strings, the first 2 strings, the bottom 2.
Oh,
We're talking a 2 finger.
we're to the second 2-finger option now?
Yeah.
So in the first one, we said top and bottom string, right?
Yeah. Where
Now
the middle
this
one rings out.
This one, the way you were doing it last night for Tattoo of You.
Well, we're going to this thing now. Now we're going.
Now we're onto a thumb.
Tattoo of You is open, and then you're thumbing, or you're doing it with your fingers here, the 4th fret, 1st and 2nd string.
And that's 1st and 2nd from the top down when you're holding
Right.
it.
And by the way, the tuning is different on the album, but we're not. This is just fun.
Who's counting?
So it's 4th fret, 5th fret, and then 7th fret. Got a tattoo of you way back in 44. Just a young sailor heading to a bloody war. This tattoo was amazing, you were looking so fine. You had flowers in your hair and soft and curvy lines too. Wore it like a badge. 7, 2, wore it like a medal of honor. Got a tattoo of you. 7, everyone can see. 2 to 5, I belong to you, girl. 7. Sounds pretty, right? Do you know that I intentionally wrote that song, wrote the music to that song to be extremely simple? And the reason I did was I was so proud of the lyrics and the story that the lyrics told. I didn't want the music to be overcomplicated. I wanted the music to be simpler so that the vocals would come out and there would be more of a storytelling aspect. James Taylor is someone that'll do that he'll do some simple guitar riffs. Now, he's also an incredible acoustic guitarist.
Well, he's actually tricky. James Taylor, when you listen to some of his most popular songs, like Sweet Baby James and Caroline on My Mind and Fire and Rain, they sound pretty simple. But if you really pay attention to what he's doing, there's a lot more complexity in there. But the good thing about them is that you can play them with simple chords and they still sound good.
Yep.
One of the good things about him.
So
we got one hand Dan Russell out there too.
Danny!
Yeah, buddy.
Tattoo of You, in case you want, it is off my album 12 Stones. Do you have that in stock?
No.
Okay. ShaneSpiel.com, you can get the download. 12 Stones, Tattoo of You. That song is on there. You can check that out.
Joe August says, very cool, get Farley to sing. You know, the thing about that, Joe, here at the Gitty Gang, we try to encourage people to do what they're comfortable with. We occasionally try to push people outside of their boundaries, but if you listen close during the Gitty Gang theme song, Farley is singing more and more confidently, so we're hoping that that's coming, but we're not gonna, no pushing, no shoving.
Give her 2 months and she'll be singing La Vie en Rose on there.
I'd pay a nickel to see that.
What else we got?
What else?
Was that EEB? No, this was GDG. I was showing the song how you play it in GDG. I tell you what, guys, I need to get more into the EEB tunings with you guys. My new album has an EEB song on there. I love it, absolutely love it. It's totally, it's a totally different voice than our usual GDG type stuff. So what are we doing?
Well, if you watch Friday's Gitty Gang show, you know that at the end of it, we've been talking about customization all day, customizing guitars and whatnot. At the end, we got into customize your sound.
Yes.
The idea that you can build different types of instruments, all tune GDG, and play them and give the impression to the world that you're multi-instrumental.
Right.
You can play the banjo, the ukulele, the mandolin, the cigar box guitar. Well, really, you're just playing the same thing.
Yeah.
On things that look different.
I'll give you a secret. On my album, you'll hear mandolin.
Yep.
The mandolin is tuned to an open G chord. I did not tune the mandolin to standard mandolin tuning. I tuned it like my GS Monroe guitar, except an octave higher. Yeah. And I played all the same licks on that mandolin, and it sounded like I knew what I was doing.
Yeah. Well, what I wanted to try now, Mr. Shane Spiel, was another little thing we were working on last night. And I don't know how far we got into it practice-wise, but we're going to try it. Well, we didn't get very far that time, did we? And we'll have that one now.
See what happens when I stop drinking?
My wife came back, my dog came back, Grandpa didn't die. And
mother-in-law moved out.
Woohoo! Somebody there, J.D. Swan, said, "You got a purty guitar." Studied on killing you with it. That's a different movie. Come on now.
These. Okay, guys, I don't have one of these at home. This is the illustrated
That's
series.
That's one of the illustrated line that has the full-color decal on the front.
And you guys have all different types of these, but they have...
Should have had more ready.
These boxes are so loud. Now, this is plugged in right now, but it doesn't need to be.
There, shut that off. Go
Yeah.
full acoustic.
And this is just... I don't ever play in this high G tuning. Usually I'm in my, I pull the A, D, and G strings out of a pack of strings.
Yeah, the
and
G.
And that's what I use as GDG.
This
but this is kind of...
What's some of that...
it's kind of neat.
Raga stuff that we're doing last
Yeah, I was actually working on a new Raga scale that is the Beatles song "Within You, Without You" from Sgt. Pepper's. It is based on what they call Raga Jog, J-O-G. But Raga Jog is this scale that's very similar to a blues scale, but it's only to be performed in the evening hours. Ragas are different scales, and I think there's like 12 main ones, and there's different times in the day that you are only allowed to be playing them.
Really?
And the Raga Jog is what they use for Within You, Without You with a... bluesy. Oh man. Oh, I played it wrong. I'm still working on it. It's just, you work these scales, and I do not play true raga music. I fake it. It's a great thing in concert. There's two different times, like, in our shows. Usually it's Mother Leads, or lately it's been our new song, Raymeyer's Hollow.
That's a dark one.
In the middle of the song, it goes off, and I just look at the band and I tell them off the grid, and when I tell them that, they know that all bets are off on where this song is going to go. And then I go into these ragas, and usually I stick with like an Arabic scale, but I've been wanting to pull different Indian type things.
And speaking of scales, I don't have a visual aid handy, but we sell a poster, and there's a lot of information out there on scales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did a whole poster.
They're on his coffee cup right here. It's too dark.
But the scales, I actually did all the blues scales in the key of G in this poster, and then there's also a few exotic scales. And you know,
basically what they are is it's a vertical representation of a 3-string neck, and there are circles. You know, you can see the strings, you can see the frets, and there are circles. Those circles tell you where to put your fingers to play a certain scale. So there's one on here. Well, those are the blues scales. But on the poster, there's one. It's the Hungarian
Gypsy. The Hungarian scale. It's yeah.
And just in the first position, I came up with a little thing based on that. Just using open, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 1st fret on the middle string, 3rd fret on the middle string, and then... What did I use? I don't know. I can only do it if I'm
do
actually...
Do it fast.
And just finding those little things that sound good to you.
Yeah.
And just working them out, you know. Now that is not traditional blues scale. Traditional blues scale. I'm not a big studier of scales myself, but you can find a lot of neat stuff on there.
You know, whenever I study scales,
look
it's
what
usually...
Greg's saying out there. You need an Eastern microtonal.
Oh, we're going to get it. Oh, don't you even get into the microtonal stuff.
Microtonal.
That's where, in Indian ragas, and I'm not really going to get too deep into this, but if you listen to Hindustani classical music, and that's the Ravi Shankar type of
We
stuff.
got to head over to the Indian restaurant for supper today.
Oh.
Sorry,
we're going to get our curry on.
Hungry.
in the Hindustani classical music, this real quick, a lot of the emphasis, if you listen to it, it sounds all drony and where's he going? But once you get used to listening to it, it's all about listening to the microtonal accents and all the tiny little things that the master is playing in it.
And at first it can sound pretty foreign to the Western ear.
Extremely foreign.
But you do get used to it. I was wondering if we could try a thing. You know that song I was talking about last night, the Farmington Road, where you'd be doing the slide?
Oh, yeah.
Do you want a lap steel?
No. I want a diddley bow.
Oh, jeez.
Mm-hmm.
So thank you all for taking time out of your day to tune it. No, you thank people once in a while for watching.
No, actually, I want to share this. We forgot to tell them that. Share this.
We're not.
Let them share it.
Well, they're not.
Let's annoy Facebook with Cigar Box guitars. There's enough damn politics on there. Make America groove again. Oh God, I went there. Hey, we got Montana in the house.
Rick Fling, good to see you, buddy. This is one I wrote. I hope I remember all the damn words. It's been a while. So I'm going to be playing the chords and singing, and Shane is going to be accompanying. You got a slide?
Mm-hmm.
All right. It's going to be.
Is that one of those new ones?
Yeah, might as well throw that on there. He's going to be kind of doing a mournful sort of accompaniment there on the one-string diddley bow.
Hold on, I got to do something. These slides are adjustable. I'm just going to just.
Now, if you remember at the beginning of the show, Rob Roble said he had builder's block and was hoping to get some inspiration, and we suggested, if you know, Rob builds some beautiful high-end guitars. We said,
go the opposite.
Leave all that stuff on the shelf. Make a guitar out of stuff that was really never meant to be on a guitar. No hardtail bridges, no humbuckers, no fancy tuners.
However, do it Rob Roble style.
And another thing you could try building is what I've been sitting on here. This is a homemade cajon I made. It's an old wooden box that I put an 1/8" plywood front on. And I'm not very good. Cajon. I'm not very good at it. I don't have a whole lot of percussive rhythm, but
so one of them is a cajon. It is 2 or more cajones.
Where were we? Oh yes.
Testicle jokes.
I might. Yeah. So this is I'm playing E minors, just E minor, C, and D all the way through.
What key is the song?
E minor. That was tuned to G.
There, I needed it in E.
See. All right. Left the city, well, I lost my only friend. Ain't been that way for so long now. I wanna see her face again. Keep on walking, well, I'm trying to thumb a ride. When I get to the end, around the bend, I might see her on the other side. Farmington Road, long and cold. It's been a weary night praying for headlights on that old Farmington Road.
Getting some good comments on the Diddley. You know,
that was some fine diddling right
I need to do some more of the Diddley bow lessons because there's so much.
And this thing, I don't know, you can't see.
It's broken too.
It's cracked. Well, this was a broom handle from my grandpa's wood shop.
Nice.
It was an old broom that got stepped on or something and cracked and put it back together. Now there are some very faint fret marks.
That's
on
what
here.
I was going by.
You were using. Okay,
Yeah.
I couldn't tell if you could see them or not.
No. And it's a Padron cigar box. You guys could make one of these in an hour or two. And if you don't have a diddley bow in your arsenal, you need one. I'm using one in concert now. There's a new song off the new album. It's called Widow Someday. And what I have is a section of 2x4, a guitar string, and one of your P90 soap bar pickups in there. And that's all it is a 2x4 with a string.
Now,
but
with one string.
one string.
Which way is the P90 going?
Oh, it's going.
Okay.
It's going this way so that it gets proper string response. Usually, people do the pickup going the length of the string, and that's a lot of magnets.
So you think that actually kind of deadens the string?
I-
I've seen John Lowe say that too.
Yeah,
that you
I
don't put
actually
them long
used
ways.
John's theory on that, which
John's got a lot of theories.
Yeah, he
if you
does.
ever met John Lowe, you come away from it a different person.
but like Widow Someday. So many people with these diddley bows, they just do this.
Which is fine. If that's what you want to do, awesome. But remember that there's a lot more.
So what I did was I took that and on my song Widow Someday, and I'll do a lesson on this eventually, but it has a, that's like the,
Sounds like the
it's like a spy movie.
Spy Hunter theme, yeah.
That's, widow someday, she'll make a beautiful widow someday. Widow someday, she'll make a beautiful widow someday. I forget how to play my own song. Yeah, like that. I'm losing it.
He always cuts
But
off right
it's
as I find
electric.
the rhythm.
Oh, here's the thing. My band has now added something, a new element to the band. So Widow Someday is an electric song, and it's this evil electric diddley bow. It's an evil song. My harmonica player is now playing his harp through an old keyboard Leslie amplifier.
With
One of
the
those
spinning
rotating speakers.
Yeah.
It sounds like my band has a keyboardist now, and
All
we
through
did
the
that.
harmonica.
We used that on the album, and it transformed the song. So now we have to lug my dad's old Leslie to every gig, but it's well worth it.
And you know, traditionally the harmonica player has the lightest duty of any of the bandmates. You know,
Yeah,
carrying
well.
a little harmonica case.
My harmonica player's a blacksmith. He's hefty enough.
So we've got a question from Paul Sheeran, saying he's 70 years old. Is that too old to start playing the cigar box guitar?
Yeah,
Paul,
right.
I think you probably already know the answer. That of course it's not too old. It's never too old. You're never too old. And honestly, it's hard. Well, I guess you can be too young if you can't.
Wait,
don't
I'm
have
going to put it to you
motor
this way,
dexterity yet.
Paul. The rest of us are trying to play like 80-year-old men. We want to sound like the old 80-year-old guy on the back porch, so I think you got a head start on us, and just do it.
Well, the good thing about these, Paul, is how accessible they are. 3 strings tuned to an open chord. If you want to just sit there and do a John Lee Hooker strum with really no... I'm not using my left hand at all.
My mama, she told me not to stay out all night long. Yeah, I didn't listen to her. I got to boogie woogie anyhow.
I'm not using this hand. I hope your song fits.
Boogie chillin', boogie chillin', boogie chillin'.
finger
He
lesson.
did no
right
finger, and
there.
he just did the entire rhythm
Just
for a John
playing
Lee
the
Hooker
rhythm.
song.
And you do that. Now, it helps if you got somebody next to you doing all that fancy stuff. You can almost
was
kind
fancy?
of get I look fancy to me. Jeez, I couldn't do it. You can almost get yourself into a trance. You're stomping your foot. Boom, boom, boom.
Yep.
And it actually is a little easier with low strings, I've found.
Okay.
Those high strings can be a little... So we got one here that's tuned the same, but with those low bass strings.
Oh, you mean low as an octave low?
Yeah.
I'll tune to you.
Something about those low.
You guys are seeing me play this Diddley bow. How cheap are your Diddley bow kits now with the 25%?
I can't think and play. Well, they're usually $24.99.
They're like $20.
You take a quarter of that, yeah, they're less than $20.
There you go.
You can build one of them for less than
Gitty's
$20.
got, and I never planned this. I didn't even think I was picking this up. Gitty's got the 25% off sale today. cbgitty.com. His Diddley bow kit's $20. Get one. It's got the broomstick or the dowel rod.
Yeah, dowel rod neck.
It's got the dowel rod neck. It's got the cigar box. It's got the tuner. $20. You guys, if you don't have a Diddley bow in your arsenal, you need one. Trust me.
But you can kind of get yourself into a meditational trance there. If you don't care.
Yeah. Serious.
So Charles is saying, how do you learn to sing, play, and tap your foot? I was born a... Never mind.
I know where you're going with that. Okay, how do I sing, play, and tap my foot? I actually did a lesson on this when I was talking about one-man band secrets. And it is, you can only, for me, I need to treat the guitar, the foot, and everything else like I'm a drummer. Which, if you watch me play, I don't sit here doing certain solos that other guys could do because my whole body needs to be in a rhythm. And it's... The whole body needs to be like I'm playing drums. And so there's times where I can't play a certain solo because it doesn't go with the rhythm. And all my soloing and even rhythm guitar parts have to go along with the foot. It is a limitation, but it ends up giving me my sound.
you'll notice a lot of musicians, most musicians are tapping their foot.
Yeah.
And what I learned, because I took guitar lessons as a teenager, that was the first thing that the instructor taught me is you tap your foot to the, the rhythm, the tempo of the song you're playing, the speed of the song. Everything is based around this. You keep yourself on time, like a good walking pace.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you start learning to play. Like this becomes a muscle memory. This foot tapping kind of does it on its own after you do it enough. And then you start adding your, or even simpler.
And then your guitar playing, after many hours of practice, your guitar playing becomes muscle memory. And that's when you can sing over top, is when your foot and your arms are in the middle of muscle memory. And then you can sing over top. Even Glenn Kaiser had a third element to that. Glenn Kaiser sings and plays the same notes at the same time. Where he goes,
Wait,
whoa, 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 whoa. Keep your lamb, remember. Keep your lamb, remember. Keep your lamb, remember. And see what the Lord has done. Just don't get worried. Don't get worried. Don't get worried. That's where I mess up. But he does a lot of. I started. After doing some shows with him, I started
Speaking of your
doing
harmonica player,
Derek on it, Derek!
Hey, buddy!
He's probably taking a break from banging on a piece of
Banging
steel.
on a metal piece. So the short answer, Charles, I think somebody already hit on it, is practice, repetition, and really, there's only one way to create muscle memory, whether it's chord forms, moving up and down the neck, tapping your foot. You just got to do it.
I used to
repetition.
Well, I did a lesson last week, and the one thing I said was always have a guitar nearby.
Yeah, that's good advice, right?
I learned a lot of my basic cigar box guitar stuff back in the mid '90s because I had a cigar box guitar beside the couch, and when I'd watch TV, I'd just keep going over and over and over certain things. And that's where I could eventually...
You don't even really have to think about it anymore.
Right.
He's done it so much, it's muscle memory. It's like the brain isn't fully involved in it.
No.
It's the ear and the muscle, yeah. So.
But you just need to... And I don't believe in... Or not believe in... I can't do structured practice. I'm too ADD. So I'm always goof-off practice. And that's how I got where I am, is goof-off practice.
So Charles is asking, before playing 1, 2, 3, 4 with the foot, kind of. I mean, not all songs are 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, but a lot are.
Mm-hmm.
And practicing being able to keep that rhythm with the foot, and hopefully you can hear that through the mic. I see it on the audio monitor. And just doing that
Yep.
for 10 minutes straight. No left hand stuff. Forget you have a left hand.
Yeah.
It might help to even get your eyes out of the equation by putting a giant fuzzy panda head.
No, I'm not putting a Panda head on.
Oh, you're putting the panda
No,
head
I'm not putting Panda Man from New Orleans on. Please, no. Please. Yeah, you put it on. You remind me of the Purple Panda from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. Anyone remember the Purple Panda?
What
was it
panda?
Mr. Rogers or was it Captain Kangaroo? Who had the big purple panda?
I don't think it was Mr. Rogers. But I brought this in both because it's funny. Shane got me this. There's a story behind it.
Oh, there's a story.
We were down.
There's a story.
The first New Orleans Cigar Box Guitar Festival. We were down there. The festival had gotten done, so we're walking around the streets of New Orleans. We were on Bourbon Street, of course, and we had had a few adult beverages. I think.
A few is conservative.
And there's a guy in a full panda suit, head and all, And that Panda suit was rather soiled. It's
yeah.
safe to say. And
He's the first homeless Panda man I have ever seen. I think he lived in the Panda suit.
And I especially when I've been drinking, I like to talk to people and hear people's stories. And so me and Panda Man struck up a friendship.
We're like trying to get him to the Maison Bourbon.
Jack. Like, oh, Ty, I want to hear his story. He wasn't one of the worst of the street people we ran into. But anyhow, yes. So Shane's found that.
I saw that at Walmart and had to send Ben a
just a couple of weeks ago, and all he would tell me is like, "There's a package coming."
Oh, I told him it was his retirement.
It's for your retirement. Like,
and I put a note in there. I said, "Step 1, put Panda head on. Step 2, buy a ticket to New Orleans. Step 3, go to Bourbon Street.
Step 4,
profit.
Question mark. Step 5, profit. There's always the mystery step.
The mystery step.
In between a crazy plan and profit. There's that mystery step. So I went and grabbed this. I haven't seen his name pop up, but our good friend Mr. Ron Benway.
Mr. Ben Wrongway.
Ben Wrongway. He was here last year sometime, and this is one of his official Ron Benway.
Hey, is there anyone in Seattle watching this? If there's anyone in Seattle, go to Pike Place Market. Ron will be performing on the streets there today, tomorrow, and every day.
We love you, Ron. If you see this later, I'm going to strangle myself with a Ron Benway washboard. That's official right there. What else we got?
That's about it.
That is about it.
I got to go back to the office and put together the Cigar Box Nation newsletter. I found a really killer 6-string cigar box guitar that a builder from Finland made. Beautiful picture. It's going to be our featured instrument.
Nice.
You know, I was blown away by it, and I've got to go through Cigar Box Nation, kind of put the best of so people can tune in and check it out. We'll link this, of course.
Let's do that. Let's play him out on that little thing.
Okay, but just to remind you, CB Gitty, this man here has a sale going on right now for every one of his kits. The microphone kits are like $15.
$15.
The Diddley bow kits are $20. You heard me play the Diddley bow.
Everything.
All of it. All the kits, all the major kits, the box kits,
the amp kits, the Psycho box, the distortion. Wish I had one in here to show.
All the Psycho boxes?
Well, yeah.
The Psycho box. You
Counts
saw
as
me
an
do
amp.
the Psycho box thing? That's for sale. 25% off.
I've been working on my Aziz Ansari surprise face.
Oh, God.
It's not working out so good yet. So this is just a basic blues boogie shuffle thing. And it really is, you can play it with a couple of fingers, but it's just...
Blues? I don't know how to play the blues.
Apparently I don't either.
Nice.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for tuning in. How long have we been doing it now?
I don't know.
I don't know. It doesn't say.
We should have been
anywhere.
working.
So this was the Shane and Gitty radio show with video. But we tried to treat it more like if we were just sitting in a radio studio, talking into mics. We look at the screen and showed you stuff too. But
just to give you guys a heads up of what's coming, I didn't have it for this week. Maybe later on this week I'll get it up. Once a week I'm going to be posting a new lesson of each song from my latest album. I did the first one already. That's over at Cigar Box Nation. And then I'm just going to keep going through every single song on my album for the next 10 more weeks, teaching you guys and showing you that it really isn't that hard. I feel like I should be on a Ken Burns special.
That was Scotland the Brave.
Oh, that was Scotland.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Oh, you went to...
Ooh.
Hey, buddy.
So, I guess
we
that's
gotta
what
go
we got.
get to work.
Yeah, I got to get that email together. We're going to be sending that out tomorrow morning. And then after I get that done, I'm basically slave labor in the packaging department, shipping department.
That's exactly.
But you said there's curry later on, right? Oh, we got to hit some Indian curry. Wait, I'm staying at your house.
Other end of the house.
I got to sleep with the dog.
It's Gitty Gang Show without most of the gang. Get the hell out of here.
All right, see you guys. Hey, my new album's for sale.
Oh, I was going
at
to go get one.
cbgitty.com.
Are we to the third half yet?
Are we? Go ahead. You want to get it? I'll vamp until then, or just
That's
all good. It's on the front page
It's a long
anyway.
run.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
Yeah, it's in the featured products list at the very top of the homepage at the cbgitty.com page.
Stay primal.
Stay primal.
And
Play what you play. No. Build what you play. Play what you love. If you're having fun, you're doing it right. And all of our other catchy sayings.
Yada zinga.
Insert them here.
But the album is different than the last one because it's more acoustic, more jug band sounding.
Yeah.
We wanted to go back to the cigar box guitar roots. And so...
That one, you played a little bit of it earlier.
Yeah,
the one
Dance.
about Dance. That's
I actually
my favorite off of there.
I did a live broadcast on here, and it's in the archives, where I showed how we recorded the acoustic cigar box guitars. They faced me to a corner, just like Robert Johnson was recorded. I had to face a corner, and they put a microphone in front of me and one up here behind me to get the projection of the guitar coming from the corner back. So we actually used Robert Johnson recording techniques.
Did I tell you, I've been wanting to experiment with this here. Last time I was down in New Orleans, there was this crazy old homemade camper pulled up on the side of Decatur Street.
Oh, yes.
Like, built on the back of a tiny little Nissan pickup truck. And I'm walking up, what is that? And it opened up, it was like a bootleg bar. And this girl was in there, and she had this little spin-it piano. Just one of those little mini parlor pianos on the opposite side, and she would sit with her back to you and sing into a wash tub. A wash tub was mounted on the wall right above the piano in front of her.
Man.
And it would just echo back with this sound that sounded
like a 78 record.
Like on an old Victrola wind, and the sound was, now granted I had been drinking all day, but the sound was mesmerizing. And playing around with that, like put yourself in a corner, and put a wash tub in front of you, and play into the wash tub so that it bounces back. All this stuff, like just
time machines,
like that. Grab that gas can right there.
Did you guys get the email that I wrote over the weekend for CB Gitty, and I talked about time machines? That everything we're doing here is trying to approximate the sounds of old-time music.
Yeah.
Whether it be using cigar box guitars. What are you doing?
Well, something just occurred to me. You've got a metal can here.
Okay.
And a thing that produces vibration.
Well, then you want it sitting on the can as much as possible. That actually works. The only thing
Something
is
with
that
lower-
spout between your legs looks really bad right now.
Come on, Shakespeare. Oh. I don't know how much
Put
it's
it on
coming
top of
through
that
the
cajon
mic.
and you'll get even more. Please put that away. People are watching.
This is a family show, folks. Anyway, just crazy stuff like that. Try it. Like, hold a wash tub on your lap and try it.
Yeah.
Find sounds that shouldn't exist or find sounds that haven't been made before. And
Well,
don't be
even-
afraid.
And that's kind of what we do here. See, there you go. You just amplified it right there. But we're
Especially,
all
I bet,
about
if I put this
trying to
that
create
won't work.
sonic time machines. The tin can mic was a great example of that. The tin can mic, a friend of mine, Jesse, showed me his. He made it with a beer can. And it sounded like, you know, a 1930s radio broadcast. And that's why I went to Ben. I'm like, Ben, we need to make a kit for this. Everything. You can't get these sounds from a freaking Fender Stratocaster. You can't get them from a Martin. And you also can't get this attitude if you're like if you want to be a trained musician doing this. The cigar box guitar is the instrument for the rest of us. And I truly believe that. It is for the people that couldn't find their voice in other instruments. You pick one of these up and it makes sense. That's what I believe in. It happened for me. I played guitar for years before making my first one. And, you know, once I made it, it was like, this is my instrument. This makes sense to me. And it's kind of, it reminds me of Bill Murray in Stripes.
It took me a
Or the
long
Mutts, you know?
it took me a long time to mentally make the transition. When I first got into cigar box guitars, I was trying to tune them as close as possible to a 6-string.
Yeah.
I was always doing like GBE, so I could
Right.
do partial guitar. I was trying to make it be as close to a 6-string as possible. And I didn't understand the GDG. Like, why would you want two of the same note and it's not, you know, it just didn't make sense. And then I finally tried it. I just started doing things, and then it clicked. It made sense. I had to get my brain out of the way and let my ear do the thing.
You have to go with your gut.
I mean, you can't do this on a 6-string. You can do something similar.
Yep.
So, yeah, G.S. Monroe's back. We're still going! Why don't you take us out how you brought us in on this
Okay.
Chris McKinney Mojo?
Oh, did you
here?
guys see his Fun Guy Mojo out of California made this? You're selling this, right?
Yeah, we got...
You're giving this to me, right?
We got... Nope.
This is my payment for working and shipping today.
We've got 2 of these for sale and 1 that I'm keeping.
And turn it up a little. Don't
Well,
give me that.
See where we're at first there, Cutter. You like that amount of...
Oh, come on. Give me more balls than that. I said all this about cigar box guitars, and now I'm playing something with 6 strings, but...
Bye, everybody. See you Friday for the Gitty Gang show.
Ooh, this is nice.
That's buttery. That's buttery.
Keep the camera rolling. This is nice.